have a really, really tough question to ask you, and I don't know how to say it or ask it without beating around the bush. Do you mind being my Valentines for this year?
Let me give you the Christian no.
I
Let me pray about it.
The number you are calling is not available. The number you are calling is not available. The number you are calling, the number is not available. Valentine is coming.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really. It's not the answer that I was looking for, honestly, but yeah, okay. Guys, welcome to Talk of Substance. And this season, we just can't help but think about love, yeah? Because everything that we're seeing around the streets, people were wearing red, flowers all over, chocolates are really being sold out in supermarkets, and it's really a sin. It's really a sin.
Yeah, that's true. Like, everyone's searching for love. If you're scrolling on your phone, if you're moving around, this season is Valentine's season, so everyone's talking about love, advising about love, and just searching for love.
And funny enough, the person that we're about to talk about today, he's actually the person who really started love. When you read the book of 1 John 4:19, it says we love because God loved us first. Yeah,
True. The greatest love is God's love, yeah? It's expressed so much by his greatest sacrifice, giving us his son. Is a big expression of his love.
And that's an interesting nature about God's love, because apart from even sacrificing, also God's love involves disciplining us, yeah? In times whereby we're doing something wrong, like I remember during the times of David, whereby the people of Israel were really proud, and that's something that God really hated. So he decided to discipline them with a 3-day plague. It's another angle to see love, actually, yeah?
I also love the fact that when we're not thinking about God, when we're not in love with God, when we did not even know God, he went out of his way to give his son as a sacrifice and show us his love when we're not even aware of it.
Yeah, that's amazing, because that's when we are sinners. That's when we actually, the things that we're doing, the devil is actually coming through and is like, yo, you don't deserve it. But God ensures that he reminds us that I still love you. And that's why he always gives us that opportunity to come back to him. And like David, we go back. There's that verse that you said about the heart, the broken heart. Go on. You remember the verse? Yes, go on.
I can't remember the verse, but I know that it says something like a broken heart, God will not ignore. Yeah?
Yeah, and it actually shows us the kind of heart that we have. And that's why David comes with that prayer that, God, please change my heart. Every time he sins, every time he does something wrong, he's like, hey, God, Maze, I really need you to change my heart because I want to be better. I want to love you like the way you love me.
And now that you're talking about David, it reminds me of another aspect of God's love.
Yeah.
God's love is always present, always faithful. I remember in Psalms, David goes like, where will I go away from your love? Or where will I flee from your love? And for me, that's crazy. Like, why do you want to run away from love? But anyway, just to say that God's love is always with us and will never leave us.
Yeah, and actually, that's a message that, especially we, the young people, where as we are trying to find ourselves, as we are going through difficult moments, sometimes we feel that we actually don't have God's love. But God is reminding us that even when we go in the valleys, when we go up the mountains, he loves us. He's our shepherd, actually, because shepherds love their flock. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. And another aspect that we're trying to look at love is the joyfulness of love, the kind of joy that is being expressed in books like Psalm 16, Psalms 119.
Even Psalm 128. A lot of Psalms talk about God's love.
Yeah, and I remember when you're reading these books, you find David was actually dancing until the wife Abigail was like, you are a king, why are you doing this? And it's actually because David loved God.
Yeah, and just to know that you're going to fellowship with God.
Yeah.
Like, let's say when they were bringing back the Ark of the Covenant, or when he was heading to Jerusalem, he was always so joyful to know that he's going to experience God's love and God's presence.
And actually, that's a kind of joy that I desire. That's a kind of love that I desire to share with the people around me. And as we conclude, we just want to remind you one thing. 1 John 4:19. We love because God loved us first. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing, people?
Yeah, the greatest expression of love, an example for all of us, just like David took it as an example and shared it with Jonathan and later on Jonathan's son.
So as in this season, as we are trying to express our love to people, as we are trying to show our love to whoever, if you're single, maybe now the only people you're sharing your love with is your siblings and maybe your friends. If you're taken and you're sharing it with your spouse or your better half, try and share the love that God shows us in the Bible, the love that God shows us in the beginning in Genesis, and the love that God shows us in the end in Revelations.
That's true. So as we finish up, we're just saying that God's love is sacrificial, it's unfailing, and it's joyful love.
Thank you for being our audience. That's our time.
Love, the number you are calling.